Hi guys, I just finished making a new batch of my natural and organic lip glosses for my farmer's market table, and I thought I would do a quick video just to share how it's made because it's a great simple recipe that you could do yourself at home, and it's awesome for this time of year. This one balm recipe I use for all of my herbal balms and salves, and there's a ton of variations, and it's just a no-fail recipe. I have them in lip gloss sizes here, but I've actually made them in much larger jars and containers, and they're safe and organic. They're even safe enough for babies because it's all natural ingredients. My sister uses it for her baby's eczema. You can use it on any skin irritation, like burns or dry skin or cuts. I use it for everything really, but this time I've dressed it up with some peppermint and chocolate flavored ingredients because I'm selling them at my farmer's market booth, and it's great for Christmas time. But I'll show you how the recipe is done. It's really simple to do at home. So it's just 3 ingredients that you need with one fourth optional ingredient. The first is coconut oil, the second is beeswax, and then the third is cacao butter. It's just equal parts of all 3 of these. So you can do a tablespoon, a tablespoon, or you can do a cup, a cup, a cup. It just depends on how much you want to make. A couple notes about these ingredients. If you're using coconut oil, I recommend using the refined oil. The difference between refined and unrefined is that the unrefined smells and tastes like coconut still, which is great if you want that, that's fine. But if you want to control the flavors and the scents a little bit more, you can do unrefined, and then it doesn't have that you can do refined. Refined does not have the coconut flavor. Another thing is I'm using cacao butter today because I want it to taste and smell like chocolate. Cacao butter, raw cacao butter, if you've never seen it before, looks just like this, and it really smells strongly of chocolate. So I want it to be chocolate, so I'm using that today. But you can also substitute shea butter for this. Same amount, one part of each ingredient, and it'll do the same, and it just won't have that chocolate flavor if you're going for different scents. And then lastly, beeswax. These are the pastilles, meaning they're in little beadlets. You can also get the wax bars. You just would have to grate it or chop it to help it melt faster. All of these products are natural and organic. So yeah. And then lastly, I'm doing peppermint essential oil. This is 100% organic peppermint essential oil. It is totally optional. Like I said, my sister uses this for her baby. In that case, I wouldn't put the peppermint oil in because it provides the scent but also a little tingle. I want that because I'm making these into lip balms. So let's get started. It's really easy. All you have to do is equal parts and melt them in a double boiler. Here's the setup, guys. You can see that I've got all 3 ingredients in here. The beeswax tends to take the longest to melt. You can see that I have set up here just a makeshift double boiler. I made sure to use a glass container with a pour spout. I did that intentionally so I can pour them into my containers here. And you just put a couple inches of water in the bottom. You can see the water bubbling around and melting the wax. And this really helps for a couple reasons. You don't want to overcook or burn your wax, most importantly. And it's easier to get these type of things off of glass because you can pop them in the microwave later to help get the residue off. I also try to put a oven mitt handy because I always forget that this is going to be really hot when I go to pour it. So I put the oven mitt right there. And then I have my little jars here. Normally I use 10 jars made out of metal, but my supplier didn't have those, so I picked these up at Michael's, and I think they will do just as well. So our blend of cacao butter, beeswax, and coconut oil is now completely translucent, and you don't want to continue to heat it past this point. Like I said, if you're using this for babies or you want a natural or unscented version, skip the essential oils. I am going to add my peppermint essential oil now. So it's important to remember that essential oils are strong chemical compounds. And again, I'm using organic peppermint from Mountain Rose. So what I've done is I went to the Mountain Rose website and I looked up their safe dilution blending chart so that I would know how much essential oil to blend into here. And what I ended up with was about 12 total ounces of my carrier oil, which is the equal parts shea, cacao, and coconut oil. And what it called for was a 2% dilution, which would be up to 1.5 teaspoons. But because peppermint is strong, and it's an already strong oil, and we don't want it to overpower the chocolate flavor from the cacao oil, I'm gonna go slightly less with 1.25 teaspoons. So I'm just dropping it right into it here, and then we'll blend it in here directly. So that was 1 teaspoon. Let me do a little bit more for 1/4 teaspoon. Let's see how many drops that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15. So that was about 15 drops. That was 1/4 teaspoon. So now we just give it a stir. These rubber spatulas come in really handy here. And we'll very carefully pour them in, which is the moment of truth. Wow, it's strong. It's strong because I have my nose right over it, but it'll mellow out when they harden. Oh, wherever you're pouring these is where you want to let them harden in place, because if you try to move them around later, it's gonna ripple the top and it won't be a clean, beautiful finish. Okay. Let's pour these babies. I'm gonna put this on a paper towel so I don't get wax everywhere. There they are, guys, and here they'll sit to harden. You can see that the back row is already slightly more opaque than the front one, so they start to harden immediately. We'll leave them flat here without the lids, put the lids on later after they are completely cooled and hardened. So these are, I believe, 1/2 ounce little pots, and there are 24 of these. So I used 1/2 cup of each of my oils, and I made 24 of these perfect lip gloss sizes.